Hi, and welcome to Wow Talk. I'm Donna Cappuccitti, a thriving cancer survivor.
And I'm her naturopathic doctor, Darlene Gustin. We're here to encourage, educate, and empower you on your journey to optimum wellness.
Welcome. Are you ready for another Wow Talk?
I certainly am. How about you?
Me too.
Okay, let's do it.
Nice. I'm excited about the topic today.
Yeah, so am I.
Yeah.
It's time. Yeah, we need to touch on this. And so, what are we going to talk about?
Well, let's summarize it into the biggest lesson of my career. 33 years being a naturopath. What's the biggest thing I've observed and learned from being in practice is that mindset overrides everything else.
Wow. A healthy mindset, you'd say?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I've just met and helped so many stage 4, spread everywhere kind of cancer patients who were determined to get over it, and they found the way to do it, and it happened. They got better.
I believe that. I always say that. As
Yeah.
long as we're breathing and we believe. It's belief. Belief is a big one, isn't it?
It's huge.
Yeah.
And there's science behind this. This is not just a woo-woo conversation.
No, not at all.
That your mindset really does change your electromagnetic field. And then that changes your chemistry. And that changes how things function. And you can really leverage that for your own overall mental, physical health to be optimum. You
Yes.
can really leverage that.
Well, you know, it's funny you should say that, because I have found that many of my appointments with you, you know, when we're on the professional level and I come in to see you at the clinic, I almost feel like it's a form of therapy as well. Of course, we touch on the other things I need to take for the physicality of it all, but I find that we always touch on that, if not spend almost half the time
Of course.
talking about my mind
Of course.
and where I am mentally. Exactly. So what would you say? So let's talk about someone coming in to see you. That's not me. And I guess right away you're assessing, like you probably are on high alert and you're taking it all in, the way they sit, the way they talk, everything. So
Definitely. So one of my favorite sentences is when we talk about stress. So who's not stressed? So you can imagine how common this conversation is in my office. And I tell people, I go, okay, listen, here's the story. Top 3 things that will help with stress. Number 1 is rest. Number 2 is protein. And number 3 is mindset. In no particular order.
okay.
And if you think about stress, like we recently had flooding.
Yes.
In this part of the world. And I said, you could have a street that flooded. And neighbor number 1 is devastated. Their dream home, they just moved in. They barely qualified for the mortgage. They finally moved in and the whole place floods.
Yes. Oh.
Neighbor number 2 is ecstatic. Their outdated 1970s basement is now going to be replaced by the insurance company.
Yeah.
Right?
Really good point.
Yeah. And so every neighbor on that street has a completely different reaction. So the experience was the same. Our street flooded, with all our basements are flooded. And the stress is only in those people who had the mindset that would allow this to be a negative experience. So it's not what happened to you, it's how you feel about it.
Yes.
What's really stressing you out? How you feel about what's going on.
That is so true. So true.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about our health, our physical health, so what you just said right in the very beginning is people can come in with a stage 4 or something that is even, that doesn't look good. And still have that optimism and belief and determination too, right?
The grit, the follow through, they do what it takes. Like, and it might be because of the kind of a patient that a naturopath attracts. Someone who exhausted all other options. You're my last resort. I fell through all the cracks. They don't know what's wrong with me. The chemo's not working. So we're used to that.
Okay.
And so it could be that that's the kind of patients I attract, the patients who will say, I don't know what to do. Just tell me what to do and I'll just do it. And they do. And things work, right?
You know, you make a good point, because if they're coming to you, that means they still have hope, right? If they're not, then usually that's when they've just given up, which we never want to hear about.
They're committed. They're committed to their health.
Yes.
Exactly.
They're committed and they still feel that there's there's a chance that they're going to beat this thing, whatever it may be. And I mean, we've heard these stories before. I know someone in our family who, you know, he had his last rites. They didn't think he was going to make it through the night, had lymphoma at the time, and he went on to live at least another 30 years after that.
Wow.
He got through the night, and the doctors were totally amazed that in the morning he was in remission. And I mean, that sounds like a miracle for sure.
It is.
But things like that do happen all the time.
And I tell my patients miracles happen all
Yes,
the time. I see
yes.
them at work all the time,
Yes.
right?
Okay, so let's talk about ways to get into a healthy mindset. One thing that I'm just going to mention that I would say to people, but no one ever listens to me. And I shouldn't say no one ever, no, but it would seem kind of maybe out there. But I would say, like, if you have something internal, let's say your pancreas isn't doing so well, I would suggest putting a picture of a really healthy pancreas up on your
Sure.
fridge or in your hospital
Oh,
room
of course.
or whatever, and just keep looking at that and saying, that's what my pancreas looks like this.
Of
I don't know,
course.
yeah?
That's
Okay.
visualization.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So the body and the brain, they can't determine the difference between I imagined it or this is really happening. So that is a valid, scientifically proven way to increase your odds,
Yes, okay.
right? Or
Yeah.
sometimes, let's say if you're on chemo, you can imagine, I tell a person, I go, okay, so when you're getting your IV for your chemo or swallowing that pill, I want you to feel good about it. And I go, oh, this awesome chemo, it's going to go in there and find all the bad cells and gobble them up and like a little Pac-Man, chomp, 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 and have a positive, maximize the positive benefit of whatever you're doing.
Yes. So funny you should say that, because I'm sure I've mentioned before that I am a thriving cancer survivor. I have breast cancer, and one of the treatments was in fact radiation. And I remember a woman that I know very well had said to me, "Oh, whatever you do, don't do radiation. It's not like it's a killer. It's awful. Like, you know, lots of negative things about it." But I looked at the odds and the treatment and what my best bet was for not only survival rate and also less chance of it coming back, recurrence. So anyway, what I decided to do was, when I was in that room, and it was scary because they set you up, and then they leave. The technicians leave, and I swear the door that they close is so thick. Like when you see that big door, it's like they're closing you into a vault, but even like really thick walls. Anyway, I remember looking at the machine and going, okay, this is the love machine. The love machine. And it's sending me its rays of love.
Nice.
To make me feel better and to take this away and to just get all the bad guys. And, and funny enough, I will say I'm a huge Beatles fan, huge. They would always have music playing while I was in there for that few minutes. And one day, All You Need Is Love
Wow.
came on. I know. I started to cry. Like I was lying there, and you're not supposed to move at all, right? So the tears were coming down my eyes, and I remember thinking, I'm going to be just fine.
Yeah.
I just knew it. Yeah.
Imagine.
Yeah. I knew
That's probably the pivotal moment when you healed, right?
Probably.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. A lot of the times when my cancer patients come in the very beginning, they may not have ever seen a naturopath if they weren't in this situation. They know nothing about it. They're not interested in it. They don't know why they're here. Some relative dragged them in, and they're terrified. They'll do anything, but they don't have no idea what's coming, right? In my office, they don't know what's coming.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of fear,
Okay. Yes. Of course.
and that causes cortisol. And that sabotages healing and causes inflammation. So it's a really important part of the treatment plan to get the stress down. And so I'll often give my patients reading lists, and I'm an avid reader. So
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
And I will give them reading lists based on whatever issue we've been discussing. But very often I refer them to a book on affirmations. And they're just such easy little nuggets of how to shift your mindset and how to replace fear with confidence and action plan, and I can do this. And sometimes even the comments I say to patients, I can see their whole energy shift, right? So they'll say, well, there's a 99% chance, 99% of people with this condition pass away within a year. And I'm going, okay, so we need to know what that one guy did right.
Yes, yeah.
And that's going to be me.
Yes.
Now tell me what that guy did.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So that's the attitude. That's the mindset. And you just take it one day at a time, one glass of water at a time, one apple at a time. You were never a health nut before. You drank beer, fries, and wings all the time. It's okay. Just one step after the next.
Yes.
And
or like quitting smoking or something. So
Yeah.
let's stop. You know, and it's
Definitely.
okay
Yeah.
that you've been doing it for years
It's
since you were in
okay.
high school or what have you.
Yeah.
Today is the brand new day, right?
Brand new.
It's the first day.
Yeah.
The rest of your life, like they say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So we've touched on visualization, affirmations.
Yeah, so affirmations, I just want to define what they are.
Okay, sure.
It's a positive, true, honest state in the present tense. Like, it can be as simple as, I can do this.
Yeah, that's a great one.
You can make up your own affirmations. I often refer my patients to read the book by Louise Hay.
Yes.
You can heal your life.
I love that one. Love it. Yeah.
And the last chapter in that book is an alphabetical list of symptoms and organs and the probable emotional cause
Yes.
and the affirmation that goes with it.
Yes. Yes.
So, for instance, someone suffering from constipation has the emotional situation of not letting things go.
Sounds about right.
I know. And the affirmation would be, I let things go with ease. It's okay. This too shall pass, right?
Yes.
So those are affirmations. And it sounds silly and you might not believe that this works, but I see it working all the time.
Yes, you do. That's
Yeah.
the thing, is you see the proof.
Definitely.
Right.
And you take this affirmation and you can write it on 50 sticky notes. Write it down over and over and over again. Put one in your wallet. Put one on your mirror. Put one inside your purse. Put one on your desk. Just slap them everywhere. And just read them, say them, think them over and over and over and over again.
And be them.
Yeah, and you will become that. Okay?
Yes.
It works.
I believe it for sure. And what else? Okay, so those are two things. I guess there's other things we could do, like listening to music or
Yeah, meditating, journaling. Like
yes, yes,
they say that the anxiety greatly reduces if you're in the state of gratitude. So
Yeah.
something as simple as at the end of the day, just writing down 3 things that you're grateful for. Thank God I'm in the generation that chemo even exists.
yes,
Thank God I'm in Canada where we have free health care.
yes, yes.
Right? Thank God 1 out of 99 people made, and I'm going to figure it out too.
Yeah.
Right? So anything. Thankful for anything.
Thankful for, and that could be even at the beginning of the day. I tend to do that just
Yeah.
while I'm waking up. I
Yeah.
just go through them in my head.
Yeah.
But I think there's something to be said for writing things down. Right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And also that last moment before you fall asleep, our brain is in different wavelengths.
Yes.
And so that helps too, timing wise, morning or just when you wake up or just when you go to bed. And another thing too is that I tell my patients when I see that they're in a great state of anxiety. Say, for instance, a student is very anxious about passing their exams. And I will say the same parts of the brain that light up when you're anxious are the exact same parts of the brain that light up when you're excited. So,
That's true.
So instead of freaking out over, I'm not going to pass this bar exam, you can say, I'm so excited, I'm in the home stretch, this is almost over.
Yes, that's
Right?
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good perspective.
Yeah, I've used this one a lot. Like sometimes when I do public speaking and it's scary and you think about the audience and they're all staring at you, and what if I forget and fumble up or trip on the way to the podium or something? We all have these fears.
Yes,
and then
we do.
Then I flip it. It's like, no, flip it. You're excited. You get to do the talk today.
That's right.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You get to have all those people eating out of the palm of your hand, and listening to what you have to say.
Oh my.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
No, that's true. And then for meditations too, I mean, you could do your own thing. But there's so many great things now that you can get free on YouTube or
Apps on your
just
phone.
apps on the phone. Yes, there's so many different options, and that's really great. Something guided and doesn't have to be long. Again,
Yeah.
you can find that just a few minutes can really help.
Five
just wanted
minutes
to
a
say,
day
yeah.
can have a 24-hour benefit. And some of these apps, I've had a variety of them on my phone over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And many of these apps have a variety of products. So you can, get one of these apps. They're usually a fee for a one-year membership, but they'll have guided visualizations, storytelling, or white noise, brown noise, pink noise, ocean falls.
I'm hearing the
anything.
waterfall as we speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's about that. I don't know unless there's anything else you can think of that is a good, useful tool for having a healthy mindset. We've touched on quite a few.
There are also Bach flower remedies, which are a
yes.
subset of homeopathy.
Yes, and we do have an episode on those. So
Yeah.
yes.
So Bach flower remedies, you can probably find a Bach flower remedy questionnaire online.
Yes.
And they are homeopathically diluted flowers that help you with different emotional states. And again, there were many years early in my practice that as a person with a strong science background, I thought, how's that going to work? I don't know about that. I didn't believe it myself. But then I saw it working, and I tried it on myself and going, oh, these funny little remedies, they work. They kind of help you stop spinning around in circles and just kind of break the pattern so you can grow.
Great idea. Yeah, that's another great tip.
Yeah.
All right, can you think of anything else before we...
Oh, probably 20 more things, but
Yes.
this is good for them to process, and I hope that they read up on some of these tools.
Yes. And along with that, I guess essential oils is also a good one too, with the,
course.
aside from,
Of
back to
course.
the peppermint oil, which seems to be the cure-all. No, I'm just kidding, but it's not, but it's a great one. But anyway, so read up on it. If you have any questions, please send them to us. And thank you very much for listening.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.